so the time that you found Rob in your mom's bed, your dad was on a business trip.
Yes.
Now, did you tell anyone about what you'd seen as far as Rob being in your mom's bed besides your mom?
My friends.
Okay, did you tell Deborah Oad?
I don't remember.
Oad, I'm saying it wrong.
I don't remember.
Did you tell your dad?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know. I probably forgot about it.
Did your mom tell you not to tell your dad?
Not that I remember.
So as far as Rob Baker, then let's talk about what happened then after your dad was killed. Did you start seeing Rob Baker more frequently?
Yes.
And can you explain what kind of occurred after your dad was killed as far as Rob Baker being in the picture?
Yes. I went to a Denny's that was on Winnetka and Ventura with my sister and my cousin. And we asked for a table of 3 and we got sat down next to him, which I thought was a coincidence. And that same trip that my cousin was here, I got a flat tire and my sister was in the car behind me and we pulled into the median, and then I noticed, like, not even a minute or two later, I saw Rob's car and Rob in his car pass by and he made a U-turn, and then he was going to help me with my car.
Okay. And you said, I thought that was weird. So
Yeah.
You thought these things were weird with Rob.
Yes.
Now, you didn't tell the police any of this, any issue about Rob, right? You never told them any of this.
I don't.
One moment. So, sorry, you never told the police any of this back then, and anything about this weirdness, Rob and Denny's and flat tire, you never told them any of that?
That's overruled on that grounds, but you're not asking a question, counsel.
Did you ever tell them anything that you're saying in court right now to the police?
I don't know. In hindsight, after the fact, it was weird, but I don't know if in the moment I said anything.
Okay, so hindsight when you talked to the defense team?
No, hindsight, like after being talked to by the detectives and stuff, I was like thinking that it's weird. I don't know if I said anything to the detectives because they might have not even asked me about it.
Okay, but you talked about Rob with the detectives?
Yes.
And in June 14th, you talked to the detectives a lot about Rob, in depth about how much you liked him, right?
Yeah, because I did like him at one point.
Okay, you called him a close family friend?
Yes.
You said you knew him really well? Right?
Yes.
Okay, you said he's been really nice to you since this happened?
Yes.
Okay. You also responded that he was a really good friend and he was your mom's racquetball coach, right?
Yes.
Did you tell him that he'd come over all the time? He'd come over for dinner and stuff?
I don't remember him coming over for dinner.
Would you like to look at a transcript to refresh your recollection? Sure. And the question actually is, did you tell the detectives that?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll show you a transcript. And this is the June 14th, 2017 transcript, page 25. Oops, let me just review that.
Mm-hmm.
You remember your first?
Yes.
Okay. So did you just tell the detectives that you really liked him? He came over to dinner a lot?
He did not come over for dinner a lot. He did maybe come over once or twice. I remember a dinner when my dad was there, but that's the only one I can recall.
Well, we're talking about after the murder.
Yes.
Okay. And that your mom played racquetball with him a lot.
Yes.
Right? You told the detectives your mom had known him for over a year.
Yes.
And during that year, had you seen him only at the gym and that one time in your mom's bed?
Yes.
Okay. Did you tell the detectives that Rob comes over a lot now, meaning this is post murder, this is June 2017?
I don't remember.
Would you like to look at the transcript again?
Sure.
All right. Same day date, page 27, June 14th.
Is this the right one?
Yeah. Does that refresh your memory?
I mean, yeah, I just read this one. Yeah.
Does that refresh your memory?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you tell the detectives that he came over a lot?
Yes.
Okay. So you liked him.
Yes.
And do you tell the detectives that he fixed your car for you?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, my car broke down. I don't know what the issue was, and he said he had a good mechanic, so he took it to his mechanic.
And did he come and pick you up and take you anywhere, anything like that?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did he bring over cars to show you?
He had a cool car. I don't remember what it was, but I remember his car, so he just showed me because I like cars, and at that time I really liked cars.
Did he show you? Did you tell the detectives that he had like 4 of them and he'd bring them over to you?
Yes.
Okay. And what were those for? What did he do?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You know, I have a recording and a accompanied transcript. Do you know when you talk to the detectives that your interview, and just this portion, that your interview with the detectives was recorded?
No, I never knew any of my interviews ever were recorded.
Okay. If I may mark as People's 230, it's a short. Okay. All right. Back to, you didn't know you're being recorded?
Right.
Okay, they didn't tell you you're being recorded. Have you listened to any of those recordings?
No.
Now, did you also tell the detectives that he comes a lot and just wants to make sure we're safe and stuff?
Yes.
The day of June 14th, you remember that day?
No.
What was that the day your mom was arrested?
Oh, then yes.
2017.
Yeah.
Okay. That day then, had your mom been on a trip before that?
I think so.
To Toronto? Or
Yes.
New York to
Yeah,
Toronto?
yeah.
When she got home then, was there something going on where Rob had her car?
Not that I recall.
Do you want to look at a transcript?
Sure.
Okay. I know it's been a long time. You haven't had a chance to review this, right?
No, I have. A few. I have.
You have reviewed it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only once, though. I don't like reading it.
Okay, that's fine. And it's, again, June 14th, 2017, page 30. And if you can just start page 8, just to refresh your memory.
Okay. Do you want me to?
Is that, no, that's okay. I think this was the next, we went into this page. Is that enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that day then, did your memory refresh? Did Rob have your mom's car?
Yes.
Okay, and why did he have her car? Do you know?
I think he was taking it also to the mechanic.
Okay, so he helped you out with getting the car fixed and things of that nature?
Yes.
And then the detectives asked you for Rob's cell phone, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
And you had his cell phone number in your phone?
I don't remember. I think I did.
You know I'm going to come back right now. Right? All right, would refreshing your memory help?
Yes, he had my number.
All right, but you don't remember what that number is?
Yeah,
Off the top of your
I
head,
don't know
sure.
his number.
All right, if I could approach. And this is page 32, June 14th. All right. There you go. Just to cover it.
Okay.
All right, does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
His number that you gave the police, 213-272-1093. That's the number you have for Rob as of June 14th, 2017, correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you communicate with Rob then yourself? Like, did you text him or call him or anything of that nature?
Not really, but maybe sometimes, like, hey, I'm coming to the gym today. Can you save me this workout machine? If I texted him.
So during that time frame then, you talked about hindsight, but during this whole time frame of from when your dad, well, let's talk about back in 2016 until after your mom was arrested, you didn't have any problem with Rob Baker. You liked him.
Yes.
And you considered him a close family friend.
Yes.
Been asked and answered.
And then at some point you changed your mind.
Yes.
And that's after you met with the defense attorneys, correct?
No, that was the day my mom was arrested.
Okay, well this is, on the day that you're arrested is the day that you're talking to the police.
But I don't know if she's arrested at that point.
Okay. You knew she was arrested the next day.
No, that later at that transcript, they say that they tell me that she's arrested. I had no idea for an hour.
And let's go through that. So on the day of your mom's arrest, the police came over to your house, right?
Yes.
And then what did they tell you they were there for?
Just to look at the, like, take more stuff for the knock-knock burglar thing they were telling me about. So looking through the house again and taking some of our electronics and stuff.
So did they recover then or take some of your computers?
Yes.
Not your, well, maybe yours and your
Yes.
mom's computers, phones, things of that nature?
Yes.
Or electronics? Okay, and then at some point during that interview, they ultimately ended up telling you that your mom was arrested, is that right?
Yes.
Did they also tell you Rob was arrested?
Yes.
All right. And then who came, was anyone with you then for support after this happened?
Yes, I called Deb to come over.
All right.
And then the next day my aunt and my grandmother came.
So Deborah Oad came over.
Yes.
And then your aunt, what's her name?
Anna,
And is that your mom's sister?
my mom's older sister.
And then who else came?
My grandmother.
And they flew in from
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay. And then they stayed with you.
Yes.
Now, one moment. Did you get then, so you've been interviewed now, you've been interviewed the day it happened on January 23rd, 2017, and then they interviewed you again, which you've refreshed your memory, February, you remember that? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
For her. And then in June, we just went through this interview, and some of it centered on Rob Baker, correct?
Yes.
But at this point, you didn't know that he'd been arrested,
Correct.
and then they told you after this interview. Is that right?
After the interview, yes.
About when you talked about Rob and how much you liked
Right
him,
after that.
you didn't know he was arrested yet.
Correct.
And then you found out he was arrested.
Correct.
And then you found out your mom was arrested.
Yes.
Is that right? And the police called you the next day. Do you remember that phone call?
No.
Would you like to look at a transcript? Just it's very short, just
Yes.
to refresh your memory. And this is the June 15th, 2017 transcript. You can just kind of look at the first couple pages.
Sorry, what page?
I just told you to look at the transcript in general because to refresh your memory that they called her the first couple. Does that refresh your memory
Yes.
then? Okay, and why did the detectives, what did they ask you the day after the murder?
Objection, that's irrelevant.
I'm sorry, not the day after the murder.
Total.
The day after the arrest, on June 15th. What did they call and ask you questions about?
About what I did that day.
The day of the murder?
Yeah.
And they asked you if you or your mom played racquetball, and like you
Yes.
testified, you said no.
Yes.
Is that right? And they asked if anything unusual happened that morning, you said no.
Right.
And they also asked you if Rob was at the gym that you saw him that morning, you said no, right?
Correct.
Objection, you've been asked and answered.
Total.
Now, after this, you found out that your mom and Rob were both arrested. And after this phone call with the police when you interviewed them, did you ever do an interview with the police again?
I don't remember. Not that I remember.
Okay. But you did interview multiple times with the defense attorneys, right?
With their private investigator.
And some of the attorneys, right?
Correct.
Okay. So on August 29th, 2.5 months after your mother's arrest, you went to the law offices of the defense attorneys and you interviewed with their private investigator?
Yes.
And that was Adam Dawson?
Yes.
So they asked you a lot of questions?
Yes.
And then on October 15 of 2021, you went there again, right, to their office?
Yes.
And you interviewed with Mr. Levine, who's in court, and his investigator, correct?
Yes.
And they asked you questions again about those days.
Yes.
And then in January 6th of 2022, you went to the law offices again and interviewed with Mr. Levine and Mr. Babbage and their investigator, right?
Yes.
And you answered, again, questions that they asked you.
Yes.
Do you know if that interview was recorded?
No.
You don't know, or it was not?
I didn't know.
Did you ever see a transcript of that interview provided to you?
Not a transcript, but like a typed up thing.
A typed up report?
Yeah.
Did you ever hear an audio of your interview?
No.
And during, did you ever interview with them again at any other time?
I've met with Mr. Levine many times, you know, for updates on the case, to speak with Adam. But yeah.
And you said you met with him many times. Where did you meet?
At his office, or he would come to our house.
Okay, so both places?
Yeah.
And that was over the course of
8 years.
8 years you've met with him many times?
Yes.
Just to go over the case and what happened?
Yes.
And then you said Adam. Who is Adam?
Dawson.
Okay. Is that the private investigator that works for the firm?
Yes.
For Mr. Levine?
Yes.
And then each time you meet with them, do they ask you questions about the case and go back through the facts?
Yes, and you know, me asking questions about the case.
Okay. And you provide them any information you remember?
Yeah.
Do you know if any of those conversations ever were recorded?
Not to my knowledge.
And you were never provided any, other than these 3 reports, were you ever
Correct.
provided any more than 3 reports to review over all those many conversations?
No, just those 3.
Okay. One moment. One thing I meant to ask you, after all this happened, you said you stayed at Deborah Oad's for a while, or a couple days, I think you said. Then where did you live?
We went back to the house.
Okay. So you were back in the house with your sister, Isabella?
Yes.
And now, after your mom got arrested, where did you live?
At the house.
And who stayed there with you?
My aunt and my grandmother.
And that's Anna, again, your mom's
Yes.
sister?
Yes.
And how long did they stay with you?
They stayed with us on and off for like 3 years.
I mean, you're over 18, so you were fine in the house?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, you sold the house and you moved out, correct?
Correct.
Not you, but the house was sold.
Yes. Correct.
You and your sister moved out. Is that right?
Yes.
And that was in 2000, was it 17?
18.
18. And where did you move?
To the Avalon Apartments in Woodland Hills.
And was those apartments the ones owned by Deborah Oad?
She doesn't own apartments.
Did she ever rent you apartments or a place to stay?
Yes, I just moved out of that house.
Okay. So how long did you live in Deborah's rental?
I think 3 years.
All right. So do you remain good friends with Deborah Oad?
Yes.
Right. She's been a good family friend to you
Yes.
and your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Tough topic, but up until your mom's arrest, tough topic, did you ever know that she was having an affair with Robert Baker?
No, not until her arrest.
When she went to Vegas, Myrtle Beach, those places, did you know that she was going with a male or a boyfriend or anything of that nature?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go through, if I may mark. A series of text messages. And it is 18 pages. I'm not going to do every single page. 18 pages. It's text messages between Jessica and the defendant.
That'd be 2:30.
Oh, 2:30. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to go through a few of these. Putting on page 1. All right. First of all, let's talk about 8th, 2017, we're starting from the time frame. Did you text message your mom basically at the number associated here, your mom's number, 818-424-4213, and your number being 818?
Yes.
Okay, and is it fair that you had text messages spanning with your mom between June 9th of 2017 through February 8th of 2017?
Yes.
And that's the number you texted on? All right. This text up here, starting with June 8th, 2017, this is 2 weeks after this happened. Your mom's telling you under no circumstances answer the phone, or if anyone texts asking if we're okay, you say I'm asleep. Nobody. Okay, got it. I'm sorry, is this upsetting you? I'm sorry.
No.
I know. We'll go through this.
I'm
I'll
just
go
waiting
through
for the
this.
question.
I'll go through this. Okay.
Objection, Your Honor. The comments are inappropriate.
It is.
I'm sorry. I apologize. This message, was your mom telling you not to talk to people?
Not to tell anyone our business, essentially.
Okay. Anything more that she was telling you about?
No.
Did she? Well, let me move on. Okay. So now as we're going through the text, page 2, and I'm not going to go through them all, but page 2. Is there many times, is it fair to say during that time frame between June 9th of 2017 and February 8th of 2017, I'm sorry. February 9th of 2017 and June 9th of 2017, I keep misspeaking, that you were often texting your mom asking where she was late at night.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you concerned about your mom, or were you concerned about you?
Concerned about my mom.
All right. Was that unusual from what happened before the murder for your mom being out late at night like that?
Yes, but I believe that was how she was grieving, because I was out every night as well.
Okay. Your sister? No.
No.
Right? Page 2 up on the screen. Your mom texted, if anyone calls or texts, don't say you have a friend there. Either don't answer or say you're just hanging out. Nobody's business. Let me move up a little bit. And was this along the lines of what you testified to? This is February 19th, like don't tell anyone anything?
Yes, because everyone's calling us every day, asking questions, wanting to know things.
And what kind of questions were you told not to answer?
Nothing, just what it says here.
Okay. But what were you told not to talk about or not to answer by your mom?
About what
Objection asked and answered.
about like what the detectives are asking or saying and stuff, because everyone keeps bothering us when we're grieving, and so my mom's telling us not to talk to anyone.
All right. And then starting in February 20th of 2017, we're about 3 weeks or 4 weeks after your dad's murder. There's some text messages about when are you coming home, right? Mm-hmm. And your mom answered, and this is about a little bit after midnight, answers late.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
yes? Yes.
And then again the following night, and this is the back of page 2, when are you coming home? And your mom answers, you, my mother.
Yeah.
Right? And then she tells you she's at a comedy club, and you say, no, I'm a concerned daughter.
Yeah.
What were you worried about?
That's just making sure she was okay.
And then the back of page 4. Again, we moved to February 25th, a few days later. Again at night, around 11:18 at night, you asked your mom, when are you going to be home? Late, and you're asking her, and she says, yes, be smart, close gates.
Yes.
Is it fair to say she was going out pretty often?
Yes.
Back of page 5. Again, now we move to March 4th. You're asking her again, are you going to be home late? And she's responding, you, my mother.
Yes.
Now, were you and your mom getting along at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're literally joking there.
All right. And page 6, you said, I just want to know. And your mom wrote late with exclamation points. Right?
Yes.
All right. And then we went through some texts with your sister, but on March 5th, 2017, you're texting your mom again at 10:30 at night. And are you talking about Isabella being scared and mad?
Yes.
All right. How are you handling Isabella at that point?
I felt as being like the mediator between my mother and my sister.
Were they not getting along?
They were getting along, but Isabella's at that age was very sensitive, and everything we were doing she had something to say about, so I was trying to mediate between both of them. So don't worry about Bella saying that to Mom.
Well, you said that Bella was scared to be in the house.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell your mom, like, hey, stay home with her?
Yeah.
And what'd your mom say?
She'd stay home.
Okay, but she went out a lot too.
Yes.
Okay. Back of page 7. Again, now we've moved to March 18th, 2017. Are you going to be home late or like kind of late? And your mom says, don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yep.
So it's fair that you didn't always know where your mom was.
Correct.
And then March 30th, a few days later, again, when are you coming home? And your mom responds, why, you a cop?
Yes.
So is it fair that most of the time you didn't know where your mom was?
Correct.
Right. Then on March 31st, there's a text message again. You're asking your mom where she is. And she says, too many teenagers here. I'm asleep at Sheila's. She lives here in Woodland Hills. I'm already in my PJs, gonna leave soon. What time you done? Do you know if your mom slept at Sheila's?
I don't know.
Did she come home that night? Do you remember?
No.
And then again in March or April 21.
This is key one.
I'll allow this.
April 21, 2017, you're asking your mom, where are you? And this is, again, 7:15 at night, and she says, Melrose, gonna have dinner, then karaoke. Is that something that you knew your mom to do, karaoke?
No.
Did she tell you she was going to karaoke a lot?
Yes, as we just saw right there.
All right, and then it follows into the next page when your mom asks you why, and you said, I'm just asking you, the police.
Yes.
Okay, and this is again March 25th, 2017. Same reasoning, you're just asking because you're worried about your mom?
Yeah. Wondering where she is.
Your Honor, that's April, not March.
April 25th, 2017. And then she says, no, I'm the mother, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Were you frustrated with your mom at all for not being home?
No.
And then on May 3rd, 2017, do you remember her sending you a photo and she said belly dancing?
No. I see it here, but I don't know what
Yeah,
that
I know,
picture
it's a
is.
hard picture to see. Do you remember her being in Las Vegas, going to Las Vegas in May?
Yes.
Did she tell you about a party she went to where there was belly dancing and it was someone's birthday?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you know whose birthday it was?
No.
Did you know her to be with Rob Baker at that time?
No.
And then again, it continues back into page 15. We're in May 5th, June 3rd of 2017. It continues, are you coming home? And this is around 2 in the morning. And she said, on my way,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I know, we're going through a lot of these. I'm almost done. And basically, those series of texts were somewhat frequent.
Yeah.
All right. Leading up to right before the arrest, there's a conversation that you have about your car, correct? Where's your car? This is June 9th of 2017. Is that right?
Yes.
Is this when your mom went to Toronto then and you were home?
I don't remember.
Well, she'd flown to Toronto, correct, for
Yes.
a ward,
Yes.
and then she came back right before she was arrested, right?
Yes.
So when she left, her car wasn't at your house?
I guess not.
And did she tell you, is that what she's in? You asked her, does Rob have it?
Yes.
And she says, yes, it's at the shop.
Yes.
I told you, and then I'm on a flight, or I'm in flight, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is that when Rob was taking care of her car at the mechanic shop?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second.
Thank you very much. Hello, Jessica.
Hey.
Jessica, in reality, you kind of grew up with me, didn't you?
Yes.
I became your mom's attorney shortly after her arrest in 2017, right?
Yes.
And we are now in 2025.
Yes.
Okay. You've done a lot of things since then, haven't you?
Yeah.
How are you doing now?
I'm doing great now.
And what are you doing?
I have a great job. I live with my boyfriend. I have amazing friends.
Hold on a second.
It's
So you're doing a lot better than you were back in 2017 when your dad died.
yes.
Let's get one thing straight. What have I told you about testifying in court?
To tell the truth.
Have I ever told you to lie?
No.
Have I or Mr. Dawson or any of the defense team ever told you what to say?
Never.
So over those 8 years, on 3 occasions, we sat down and asked you if you could remember what happened
Yes.
regarding the murder of your father.
Yes.
Correct? And the first date was shortly after the arrest and prosecution began, right?
Correct.
And then the case started lasting far longer than anybody thought,
Correct.
with COVID in the middle.
Yes.
So after a year or two, we came back and asked you if you remembered anything differently than you stated before, or if you still remembered what was there, and you remembered some new things and other things you did not, correct?
Correct.
Did you always answer truthfully?
Yes.
Did we always show you the report that Mr. Dawson prepared and asked you if it was accurate and correct?
Yes.
And was it?
Yes.
And if it wasn't, did you tell us to change it?
Yes.
And you've testified here today to a lot of things you said happened and a lot of things you said did not happen, correct?
Correct.
Have you done your best to tell the truth about everything?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before January 23rd, 2017, before your father's murder, can you describe how your father and mother, how the marriage was?
I tell this to everyone. My mother and father were the epitome of what a loving marriage was, and what I strive to look for in a partner. And they're the best parents.
And husband and wife?
Yes.
Did you ever notice anything that caused you to believe that either one of them wasn't in love with the other one?
Never.
And how were they as parents?
They were great parents, both of them.
Specifically Monica, how was she?
Mom was an amazing parent. Dad was away a lot, so Mom was the one who was always there for us, taking us places, helping us with homework, there for us emotionally more than my dad was. I love my dad, but he was gone all the time.
Okay. Now, I take it you had no idea until June 14, 2017, that your mom was having an affair with Robert Baker. Is that
Correct.
right? Up until then, you thought he was just someone she played racquetball with and had become kind of a friend, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, he was around you a lot, you realize now.
Yes.
He showed up at a lunch one time. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Took care of your car and your mom's car a couple of times.
Yes.
Did he appear to have some knowledge about cars
Yes.
and some mechanics that he worked with?
Yes.
At that time, did you think anything suspicious about your mom's relationship with him?
No.
When she said she was going to trips to Las Vegas or Myrtle Beach, I assume she didn't say she was going with Robert Baker.
Correct.
You thought she was going with friends of hers.
Correct.
Now let's talk about interviews with the police, first of all. Between the time of your mom's your father's death and your mom's arrest, there was a period of about 4 months, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall how many times the police came out and interviewed you or your mom?
A few times. I don't know the exact number.
Right? And were there times when they called and spoke to you?
Yes.
And at any of those times, did you refuse to answer their questions?
Never.
Did you always meet with them when they said to meet with you?
Yes.
Cooperate with them when they said, asked you questions about that?
Yes.
Was there some concern that your mom expressed about the pace of the investigation and why they couldn't solve it?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
We all were feeling that way. It wasn't just Mom, but we were all feeling, where are the answers? How?
Objection, speculation,
As what we were all feeling, sustained.
and objection, hearsay.
So ruled.
Let's start with you. How are you feeling
Now,
about the delay in finding out who did this?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Did your mom express concern or frustration with the pace of the investigation?
yes.
Did she ever talk to you about insurance?
No.
Did she ever express to you concern about insurance?
No.
In fact, you were one of the named beneficiaries, right?
Correct.
And when did you eventually get your share of the life insurance proceeds?
After my mother was arrested
And what did you use them for?
to pay rent and bills.
Let me bring you back to the date of your mom's arrest. Before I do that, we were talking about the relationship between your mom and dad and the relationship you all had together. Did you give us a couple of photographs portraying the type of relationship your mom and dad had?
Yes.
Can we show those, please, Your Honor?
How many we talking about?
Your Honor,
Two.
two short videos.
Let me see your cell phone. Counsel and I have to confer further. We can go outside, or you can. It's my courtroom, so we're going to take a 5-minute recess, and you go outside. The evidence is